Tiger. The ambush machine. Stripes. Everyone sees them. Nobody understands them. That pattern isn't decoration. It isn't warning coloration. It's a motion disruption system. One of the most sophisticated optical weapons ever produced by evolution. And it runs automatically. No thought required. Stand a tiger in vertical grass. Watch it move. Your brain cannot assemble a coherent outline. The stripes cut the body into disconnected fragments, flickering, shifting. Nothing your nervous system recognizes as a single approaching predator. By the time the signal reaches your brain and resolves into tiger, the tiger is already there. Military engineers spent decades developing this. The tiger had it 50 million years before the first human drew a weapon. Those forelimbs aren't for show. They stop a running animal dead. Mid-stride, a deer at full sprint, a wild boar in full charge. The tiger plants and absorbs the impact, 3 times its own body weight. Controlled, finished. This isn't a chasing predator. This is an interception engine. The eyes operate in the window between dusk and darkness. The moment prey relaxes, thinks it's safe, a reflective layer behind the retina bounces light through the photoreceptors twice. Near zero light becomes workable. The tiger's peak hunting window is the exact moment everything else goes blind. One tiger, one territory. No competitors sharing the yield. Every prey animal inside that range exists inside a closed circuit. One apex node. Zero redundancy in the competition column. The cost, remove the large prey, and the system has no backup. Compress the territory, and the tiger doesn't adapt downward. It disappears. Perfect optimization in one direction. No safety net in any other. But in dense forest, at the edge of dark, where shadows move and nothing announces itself. The tiger was never hunting. It was already there. Lion. The cooperation experiment. Every other cat solved survival alone. The lion looked at that solution and built something different. Not stronger, not faster. A system. One lion cannot take a Cape buffalo, cannot reliably kill giraffe, cannot feed enough mouths through solo hunting on open savanna where prey sees everything approaching from 500 meters. The solo math doesn't work in that environment, so the lion didn't evolve better solo tools. It evolved cooperation. The only apex cat in history that did. Females hunt in coordinated formations, flanking movements, cutting escape routes, running prey into each other. These aren't instinct patterns. They're learned group tactics, passed between generations, refined across thousands of hunts. The caloric payoff unlocks prey categories completely inaccessible to any solo predator on Earth. The mane absorbs puncture and slash. Male-on-male combat over pride control is direct and brutal. The mane protects the throat, the neck, the critical structures. Simultaneously, it broadcasts health. Darker, fuller, higher testosterone, better genetics. Females read it as data. Selection happens at a glance. The roar carries 8 kilometers. 8. The lion doesn't patrol every boundary every day. It transmits, forces rivals to calculate whether the challenge is worth the engagement. Energy-efficient dominance. Presence without movement. Division of labor isn't hierarchy. It's specialization within a system. Females optimized for pursuit and coordination. Males optimized for defense and territory enforcement. 2 different biological tools. 1 integrated machine. Synchronized cub litters mean cubs raise together, defended together, fed together. Collective protection raises individual survival dramatically. The group invests in the next generation as a single organism. The vulnerability is total. Drought hits, herds move, the entire system collapses simultaneously. Every mouth starves together. The cooperative advantage that built the empire becomes a simultaneous failure point when the resource base disappears. But when the herds move through and the pride moves with them, No single cat on Earth accesses what the lion accesses, or as consistently. Evolution tried cooperation once. Among apex predators, only once. It worked. Leopard, the one that survives everywhere. Not the strongest, not the fastest, not the biggest. Those comparisons miss the point entirely. There are leopards in the Sahara, leopards in Siberia, leopards in rainforests, in mountain ranges, in farmland, in cities, on the edges of every ecosystem on Earth that supports large prey. No other big cat comes close to this distribution. Not even close. This isn't generalism. This is mastery of adaptation itself. The tree. This is the move that changed everything. A leopard can carry a kill heavier than itself straight up a vertical trunk. Not drag it. Carry it. 10 meters up. Out of reach of lions. Out of reach of hyenas. Out of reach of wild dogs, jackals, everything that would take the meal on the ground. The kill stays. The leopard eats in peace, undisturbed, full. No other big cat does this. The physical requirement, grip strength, shoulder architecture, core control under load, is extraordinary. The leopard evolved it because without it, the leopard loses its kills to larger predators constantly. The tree isn't a preference. It's a survival mechanism built directly into the muscle structure. Smaller body means lower caloric floor. Survives on prey other big cats ignore entirely. Occupies territories too fragmented, too small, too marginal to sustain anything larger. Lives in the gaps. Between lion territories, between tiger ranges, between human settlements and wilderness edges. Speaking of human edges, the leopard is the only big cat currently thriving in landscapes fragmented by human development. Not surviving, thriving, moving through agricultural zones, peri-urban fringes, broken habitat corridors that have driven every other big cat toward extinction. It reads, new environments, adjusts, continues, silent paw structure. The physical architecture of the leopard's foot reduces acoustic output during movement through dense terrain. It doesn't just move quietly because it's careful. The geometry of the paw produces less sound by design, stalking in dense undergrowth where a snapped twig ends the hunt. The leopard's foot was built for that problem. Cannot fight a lion directly. Cannot outrun a cheetah in open ground. Cannot match a tiger's raw stopping power. It doesn't compete in those categories. It survives around apex pressure, beneath it, beside it, through the gaps it leaves. The leopard isn't what evolution built when it was trying for power. It's what evolution built when it was trying for permanence. Jaguar, the bite force. Outlier, every big cat kills the same way, throat, suffocation. Wait for the prey to stop moving? It works. It's been working for millions of years across every felid lineage on every continent. The jaguar looked at that method and evolved a completely different answer. It goes through the skull. Canine teeth that penetrate directly through the temporal bone, straight into the brain cavity. Instant neurological shutdown. No suffocation window. No prolonged struggle. No risk of injury from a thrashing animal during a 4-minute kill. One precise application of force to the exact right location. Done. This kill method is unique among all living cats. All of them. Nothing else on Earth does this. The jaw that produces it isn't the largest among big cats. It's the most mechanically efficient. Bite force, relative to body size, the jaguar wins. Not close. The skull structure, the muscle attachment geometry, the lever ratios, all optimized for one thing. Maximum crushing force from a compact system. Water. Every other big cat treats water as an obstacle. A boundary. Something to cross when necessary and avoid when possible. The jaguar treats rivers as hunting grounds. Caiman, river turtles, fish, capybara at the water's edge. The jaguar enters the water, pursues actively, applies that skull-piercing bite to prey that lives inside an environment every other apex predator abandons at the shoreline. An entirely separate food category, exclusively accessed. Turtle shells, bone. The jaguar cracks both. No other cat in existence accesses this food source. The bite force that evolved for skull penetration accidentally unlocked an entire prey category that requires force levels beyond every other prey did on Earth to even attempt. Stocky limb architecture. Short, powerful legs built for wrestling and pinning. Not built for ground-covering pursuit. Not built for long-distance tracking. Built for the moment of contact. Controlling a struggling caiman on a riverbank. Holding a tapir flat while the kill bite finds its position. The body is a pinning machine that happens to move. The cost, lower top speed than almost every cat on this list. Cannot run prey down on open ground. If the ambush fails and the prey creates distance, the hunt is over. Entirely dependent on proximity, on patience, on the perfect geometry of the setup before the attack. But when the setup lands, when the distance closes to zero and the jaw finds the position, nothing on the menu is off the menu. Cheetah, the price of speed. Everything on this list made trade-offs. The cheetah made all of them at once. 112 kilometers per hour, fastest land animal on Earth. The number gets repeated so often it stops meaning anything. Here's what it actually means biologically. The cheetah's entire body architecture was dismantled and rebuilt from scratch around a single 30-second window of performance. Everything else was sacrificed to fund it. The claws don't fully retract. Every other cat keeps claws sheathed, protected, sharp, preserved for gripping and killing. The cheetah's claws stay partially exposed permanently. They function like sprint spikes. Constant ground contact. Constant traction. The trade-off: blunted tips, reduced grip strength, claws that work for running but are compromised for everything else. The spine is a spring. At full extension, the cheetah's flexible vertebral column stretches its effective stride length beyond what the legs alone could produce. Coil and release. Coil and release. Every stride amplified by stored elastic energy. This spine design is incompatible with the dense muscle architecture that produces raw strength. You get one or the other. The cheetah chose the spring. The nasal passages and lung volume are enlarged beyond standard felid proportion. The oxygen delivery system was re-engineered for maximum throughput during 30-second maximum output sprints. The heart recovers from peak exertion faster than any other big cat. Built for explosive intervals, not sustained output. The tail functions as a mid-air rudder. Active directional correction at full speed. Not balance, navigation. When a gazelle cuts left at 80 kilometers per hour, the tail shifts the trajectory without the cheetah breaking stride, steering at speeds where the physics should make turning impossible. The tear marks, dark lines running from the inner corners of the eyes down the muzzle. They reduce solar glare during daytime pursuit across bright open savanna. The cheetah hunts by day, the only big cat that does primarily in the harshest light conditions. The tear marks function like the black grease athletes paint under their eyes. Contrast enhancement. Target tracking at speed under direct sun. Now the cost. The real cost. The skeleton is lightweight and fragile. The cheetah cannot defend a kill. A single hyena takes it. A group of vultures takes it. Sometimes a jackal takes it. The cheetah eats fast or doesn't eat at all. The speed that catches the prey cannot protect the meal. The sprint window is 20 to 30 seconds. After that, complete system shutdown. Core temperature spikes. Muscles flood with lactate. The cheetah must rest 30 minutes before attempting another chase. During that recovery window, it is completely vulnerable. Cannot flee effectively. Cannot fight. Just waits. The genetic bottleneck is catastrophic. Approximately 10 to 12,000 years ago, a population collapse reduced cheetah genetic diversity to near zero. Today, all cheetahs are so genetically similar, they can accept skin grafts from unrelated individuals without rejection. One novel disease moving through the population encounters no genetic variation to stop it, no resistant individuals to survive and rebuild. The entire species is one pathogen away from a collapse with no survivors. The cheetah won the speed arms race. Definitively. Completely. And it has been paying the biological debt ever since. Snow leopard. Built by the mountain. 5,000 meters. The air carries a third less oxygen than sea level. Temperatures drop to -40. The terrain is fractured rock faces, vertical ridges, loose scree fields that shift underfoot. Prey, Baral, Argali, Ibex, moves across surfaces that would kill most predators attempting to follow. Most cats never evolved for this world. It's too hostile, too marginal, too far outside the caloric math that makes apex predation viable. The snow leopard didn't conquer this environment. The environment built it. That tail, nearly as long as the body itself. On the ground, it functions as a balance counterweight across fractured, unpredictable rock surfaces where a misstep means a fatal fall. During sleep, curled across the face, it becomes insulation. A built-in blanket protecting the nose and mouth from air cold enough to damage lung tissue during breathing. One structure, two critical functions, neither optional. The nasal cavity is enlarged beyond standard felid proportion. Incoming air at -30 degrees would shock and damage the respiratory system if it arrived unprocessed. The enlarged nasal passage pre-warms that air before it reaches the lungs. A heat exchange system built into the skull. The mountain made breathing at altitude a solvable engineering problem. The snow leopard is the solution. Wide paws, fur covered on the underside, weight distributed across a larger surface area on unstable snow and ice, the same principle as snowshoes. The fur eliminates the acoustic signature of paw contact on rock surfaces. Silent movement across terrain that should produce constant noise. The paw is simultaneously a traction device, a thermal insulator, and a stealth mechanism. The belly fur density is extreme. Direct contact with frozen rock and snow during rest would drain core temperature rapidly in any standard phyllide. The snow leopard rests directly on ice. The fur density between the body and the surface maintains thermal integrity during long sedentary hunts, hours motionless on a frozen ledge at altitude, waiting for the prey to move into position below. The camouflage pattern is not spotted, not striped, fractured, irregular rosettes on pale gray-white base coat, tuned specifically for broken rock and patchy snow, a visual environment no other cat's camouflage pattern addresses. On a mountain face in winter light, the snow leopard is effectively invisible. Not approximately, effectively. The range restriction is near total. This degree of specialization produces a predator of extraordinary capability inside one of Earth's most hostile environments and almost zero capability anywhere else. The mountain that built it is the only place it fully works. Every feature of this animal is a biological scar from an environment that kills everything softer. The snow leopard didn't survive the mountain. The mountain is the snow leopard. Cougar, the continental ghost. No roar, no iconic stripe, no record in any single performance category. What it has instead? Everywhere. Arctic Canada to Patagonia. Desert, rainforest, mountain range, canyon, temperate forest, grassland, suburban fringe. The cougar occupies the largest geographic range of any wild land mammal in the Western Hemisphere, by an enormous margin. This isn't an accident of history. It's the result of a specific biological strategy that trades peak performance in any single category for functional competence across all of them. Those hind legs, disproportionately powerful relative to body size. A standing vertical leap of 5 meters. Horizontal distance up to 12 meters from a stationary position. The cougar doesn't need a running start to reach an elevated ambush position. Doesn't need flat ground to close distance on prey. The legs convert any terrain feature, a boulder, a fallen tree, a cliff edge, into a launch platform. Ambush architecture. The cougar is not a pursuit predator. It is a position and patience predator. It selects the geometry of the attack before the attack begins, waits for the prey to walk into the pre-selected kill zone, drops from above, closes from behind a rock face, exits a terrain feature the prey didn't know was occupied. The kill is designed before it happens. Dietary range. Documented prey includes everything from grasshoppers to moose. No food source category is refused when primary prey is unavailable. The biological system that processes deer, the preferred prey, can process almost anything with sufficient caloric yield. When the deer aren't there, the cougar doesn't starve. It adjusts the menu. It is currently the only large apex predator actively expanding its range back into human-altered landscapes in North America. Not holding ground, not retreating, expanding, moving into suburban interfaces, fragmented habitat corridors, agricultural edges, reading novel environments, and continuing to hunt effectively within them. The same adaptability that put it across 2 continents is operating in real time right now. The cost: no roar means no long-range territorial broadcast. A lion announces presence across 8 kilometers. The cougar must physically patrol its boundaries. Walk the perimeter. Leave scent markers. Re-establish presence through direct movement. More energetically expensive than acoustic broadcast. A perpetual maintenance cost on the territory system. But territory after territory. Continent after continent, ecosystem after ecosystem, the cougar just keeps going. Clouded leopard, the original. Everything before this chapter evolved from something. The clouded leopard is closer to the something. It sits at the base of the big cat lineage. It carries anatomical features shared with ancient extinct cats that no modern species retained. It is simultaneously a living animal and a biological time capsule, a record of what the cat body looked like before it specialized into tigers and lions and cheetahs. Those canine teeth, proportionally the longest relative to skull size of any living cat on Earth, longer ratio than a tiger, approaching, structurally, the saber-toothed cats that have been extinct for 10,000 years, built for seizing and holding arboreal prey in 3-dimensional space where there is no ground to pin to, where the kill must be controlled in the canopy, where the tooth has to do what the whole body does on the ground. The rear ankles rotate. No other living cat does this. The ankle joint articulates backward, allowing the clouded leopard to descend a vertical tree trunk headfirst at speed. Full 3-dimensional mobility in the canopy, up, across, and down, controlled, fast, silent. The canopy isn't an obstacle course. It's a highway. It hunts entirely in the trees, rests in the trees, ambushes from the trees, escapes into the trees. The ground is optional. For a cat. This is extraordinary. The entire predatory system, stalking, positioning, the kill, the retreat, operates above the forest floor. A separate ecological layer that almost no other predator accesses at all. That tail, extraordinarily long relative to body size, a balanced counterweight for movement across unstable branches at speed. The same problem the snow leopard solved on fractured rock. The clouded leopard solved it 40 meters above the ground. The evolutionary position is the detail that stops everything. The clouded leopard didn't inherit features from the tiger or the lion. The tiger and the lion, and every other cat on this list, inherited features from the lineage the clouded leopard represents. The rotating ankle is gone in every other living cat. The canine proportion is gone. The full arboreal specialization is gone. The clouded leopard kept what evolution edited out of everything else. The cost is absolute. Total dependency on intact forest canopy. Deforestation isn't a habitat reduction. It's a complete erasure of the only environment this animal's entire body is designed around. The cat that survived every evolutionary pressure for millions of years faces a threat evolution never prepared it for. The removal of the trees themselves. It isn't the most powerful cat on this list. It isn't the fastest. It isn't the most famous. It's the one that came first. Every cat in this video carries something it invented. The teeth design, the canopy instinct, the ancestral body plan that branched into lions and tigers and leopards and jaguars and cheetahs and every felid alive today. The clouded leopard isn't a footnote.